I don't understand where this new thing has come about that the owners can be brought out. Like I've not had, again, from what we've learned, from what we've been read, they can buy each other out. But like we can't do that, mate. No, I know it. I understand what you're saying, Marshall. But like, listen, I don't think these owners are good enough. I don't think everyone here would probably agree with you. But we cannot remove them from power, boys. We need to be. I just don't understand where this has come from.
I just want the owners to remove the directors. That's where my
that's what we need to. Like practically speaking, we can try to get the sporting directors gone, but we can't remove the guys at the top.
We're never going to shame people into selling a multi-billion-pound asset.
That's what I'm saying, Peter. Like I feel like there's no understanding of that. Peter. That's what
for the record, nobody pays me for any of this, but I'm down to be paid for opinions. So if you know anybody who's paying people for opinions, let me know.
Yeah, all you have to do is tell what people have to say and take the money home.
Yeah, man, I'm down to be paid to give opinions and push propaganda. I'm willing to do it.
I need that money, bro. Listen, I'm trying to pay my mortgage, bro. I've got a mortgage, Listen, I'm trying to get as much money as possible. Please.
Can we all agree though? It's like, if I'm looking at the broader spectrum and the bigger picture here, right? In terms of football itself and ownerships, it looks like to me that most football clubs are trending towards being owned by either American companies, Saudi companies. Am I missing another category here?
It's not even about the country, Marshall. I just think a lot of football clubs these days now are owned by hedge funds, or like I forget what the other type of them is called. Like maybe you can help me out there. But it's like another thing, like essentially, or private investors. Yes, exactly right. So it's either private investors or hedge fund owners, right? And then maybe there's the third class of like billionaires that maybe love the sport or something like that, right? So basically, there's just only these things, right? And like the reality,
I'm just discussing it now.
Yeah, I think for me, like right now, I don't know if people know this. 80% of football is not a profitable business right now. Like I'm pretty sure we all know this, right? Football's not. Yeah. It's like 80% of clubs. 80% of clubs do not make profit. I think that's an actual fact.
The only way you go get good profit if you sell the club, like for a good price. Yeah. Say, how much they pay for Chelsea? Like 4 billion. Was it 4 billion or something?
It's basically it was 2.3. It was technically 2. No, it was 2.3 base technically, but it was the 1.75 that was guaranteed for like future investment. Does that make sense, guys?
Okay,
that was separate to the actual thing.
Right, if they can sell the club for like 5 billion or something, then that's gonna be good for us. Something like 5 to 6 billion in the like.
But basically, that we know how. Like, again, like I think all of us in this, at least here, and I would like to hope some of the chatters here understand how capitalism works, right? We understand how businesses work, right? They wanna get an ROI, return on investment. They can't get that in 10 years. They know that too. And on some level in football, right, you cannot get your return on investment, particularly when you're in a big club, right, to do what they're doing right now. Right now, what they're doing, they're tanking their business right now, right? The stuff they're doing right now is not helping them value-wise, I would like to think. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but
I mean, no, like last 3 years.
At the end of the day, like, yeah, I just think.
And they're not getting money for sponsors either. Like, no sponsors this season. The only way they're getting money really back is just selling players. That's it.
I think TKO makes a good point. Like again, like, all these groups that we've heard about, like they've all done not great stuff, like as well. But I just think for me, we're not gonna get anywhere with this ownership. With the current ownership group, you're not gonna move them out. Just focus on the sporting directors and getting them out.
Look, put a better product on the field, and nobody cares about the owners.
Yes, that's all it is. Yes.
Like I get it. Let's be cool to do like the whole owners out thing, and that's a cool opinion to have, I guess. But there's no practical route
exactly
to achieve that. None of us are going to crowdfund £4 billion to buy Chelsea off of
exactly. Listen, I don't have the facilities for that.
We could raise the money. We're not then going to agree with how to run the club.
Bro, it's not even just that. There's already they already have in contract they can't sell to a third party until a certain date.
No, but even if they wanted to, like, we don't have the fucking capital to come up with that to take it off.
Exactly.
So none of that fucking matters, guys. Just
and also, like, just quickly, like, this idea of like let's not go to the bridge, let's not even go to our tickets and stuff like that. Listen, one of the biggest curses of having a big club. Just look at United. They tried to do that. all the other fans just bought the tickets and just went to the game.
There will
That's
always be other fans.
That's the point. Because remember the stuff I told you, Marshall, right? There's always going to be someone else that's available that's going to take that seat off of you, bro. Always.
Yep.
Especially when it's in central London as well. It's just, for me, that aspect of it is it's never going to work, bro.
I think it's one of those, like, I think, I hate to say it because it's almost like a cliche. The club itself is too big to fail.
Exactly.
Kind of how, like, even though we banter about Spurs and United getting relegated, it's almost like they're too big to get relegated. It could happen. It could happen in a traditional sense of football. It could happen.
I don't think clubs of that level can get relegated realistically anymore.
Yeah.
It's
never going to happen.
Yes, but I don't think so anymore.
Yeah.
Look at how bad the bottom of the Prem is.
Yeah.
Look at the new teams, bro. Every time the new teams are always going down now, bro.
Spurs are 10 points above the drop zone, and they've lost 13 of 24 games.
Like, to an extent.
You have to be incredibly terrible to get relegated in 2025.
Yeah, and there's too many. A lot of these teams invest too much money in such high quality players that it's not really feasible. Like, as bad as they may be, there will be games where they do turn up and do show up for the price that they're worth, and that'll be enough to just scrape them to continue into the
you know,
like, to an extent it's almost like we already created our own little super league, to be
honest. Even in our worst season where we finished 12th, we were still 10 points above the drop.
And like, I think the thing is also, like, you look at a lot of these new teams, bro, they can't compete necessarily with these top teams that have been in the remaining 17 teams, because they still get more money than them when they go up. Yeah, and they still get everything, they still have the players there too. So like, it's very hard for these other three teams to compete in general. So that's why they always go down straight away, essentially. There's no way that's gonna happen, JC.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Why would the UK care about the US invading Canada, though?
I know, I understand that Canada used to be a former state of the UK, but like, hey, listen, this is not British. This is not the British Empire anymore, big man. Chill out.
Why would the UK care about that?
I think they're trying to use the same logic about Roman and the Russian and the sanctions and all that.
Yeah.
The thing is, TJ, like, I'm going to let you know this right now.
United are getting sold. Tottenham are getting sold. Liverpool are also getting sold. And so are Arsenal, right?
Yep.
That's not happening.
Yeah, TJ, I want to let you into a little secret, my bro, yeah? They're never going to let Abramovich buy this club back again.
No.
I don't understand. Like, people need to realize that, bro. After what's happened, even though I know the stuff in Ukraine, it's look like it's gonna come towards an end quite soon of some of the stuff that's been reported, they are never gonna let Roman come in again after the stuff that happened in the first place, because of how much of a stain it already was on the club, not just on the Premier League brand itself. And that's from a branding perspective. I know they will never do that again. Like, imagine if they let an oligarch come back in to buy their club again. Never gonna happen, boys.
Just so people can see this and understand that we're not. Obviously, the only people that really know what the details of the contracts are probably the business lawyers that these guys hired and so on that actually read the contracts. There's probably a big ass confidentiality,
non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreement.
Thank you.
This guy was trying to confidentiality and he couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it, man. Chelsea got
Jesus.
my vocabulary and my Chelsea head is gone. But yeah, the confidentiality agreement and all that stuff. I'm telling you right now, Minerals doesn't have the answer. It's a lot of these guys. A lot of you guys just want to hear what you want to hear, and you want to believe what you want to hear. And to an extent, like, that's not even just with football. That's with life. There's a lot of people that they just gear, or they just are lured towards the news that they want to hear, and this is the truth that they want to hear, so they'll believe the people that say it, even though it's not necessarily the wholehearted truth. But based on what we know right now, they can't sell until 2032.
And just to add to Marshall again, guys, yeah, if they could sell, we would have known in that period while we were hearing Bowley versus Gabali. Again, that was just this November. Like, that was only like 3-4 months ago, guys. We would have known then if they could sell to third parties. Genuinely speaking.
This is before AI.
And remember,
trendy, bro.
this is not even No, like I don't really care about that. I'm just like, let's actually look at the facts itself, right? This is coming out before they were doing any PR that they're doing right now. This is coming from the Rain Group itself, right? And I would also argue, again, the Athletic, I think, have reported this also, if I'm not mistaken, right? And they're very reliable when it comes to stuff like this. And if there was anything in the contract that
Ornstein,
was... no, even, it doesn't even matter, obviously. I'm just making a point. If there was anything like what we're saying right now, or what people are saying, we would have known about it right now, bro. We would have known about it by now, bro. There is no way they would be hiding that, bro. Why would they hide that right now? It's just unrealistic.
I'm just saying, people, when it comes to like sources, there's a certain level of like, you got to look at their consistency and the morals and not the nitpicky of it. Like, for as much shit as people want to give the Athletic or Ornstein or Fabrizio, Ornstein's at least consistent. Like, he won't say anything unless he knows it cannot be debunked or can be wrong. And he'll continue to be that way because it's all about integrity in journalism, which is very little of it left. But the moment like you start seeing someone say this source is garbage because XXXXX, and then later on say this source is saying the truth, yada yada, the same source that you just said is garbage. At some point, you as a human, you have to like kind of raise an eyebrow to that and be like, okay, hold on now. How do I know you're just not nitpicking? Or like, you got to just start questioning it. And once you start to question the integrity, that's when you start to have to like question if this is something you can trust. And that's why, like, at the end of the day, like when we do like the Casually Chelsea show, you've heard me say it here, Ahmed, Pete, I'm sure you've heard me say it too a few times. Like, I'm at a point now where I really only trust Ornstein and Fabrizio to an extent. And Matt Law, who's kind of re-earning my trust, because for a while Matt Law, he wasn't lying, but he was, you know, overinflating a lot of truths. But he's kind of re-earned his way in that trust, and probably because it was hurting his wallet to an extent. But
so, like, just quickly, JC, what have I said that's unrealistic? I've said everything that's, again, we would, again, what I've said, yeah, just tell me what's wrong about it. But like, I think Marshall, you know, I would like to think all three of us here, we understand what media literacy is, right? We can understand the difference. We can
100%
understand.
True, by the way, TJ. Everything we saw, even the players on the pitch were all AI. Everything was AI.
But like, again, I just want to say, I feel like there's media literacy. We can understand the difference between what a brief is, right, and what is something that's new, that's been reported, that is clearly sourced. I am confirming your statement to your I am confirming your statement. Oh, you agree with me?
Conforming to your statement.
Oh, fair enough. That's fair enough. But like I just think for me, at the end of the day, right? These are the facts we have. Unless there's something new, we would have known about it by now, surely. But again, these guys want to make money on their return on investment. In the current state, let's say hypothetically they were to sell the club, they're not gonna make money on the club. They're not making money on the club. So why would they say it now? Like,
you know what? That's actually a really good point, because, like,
even that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, Marshall, like, even right now, yeah. If I was to say, you know, I'm just trying to say, like, even right now, if I was to say, like, yeah, okay, they can sell the club, they wouldn't sell it now because we're in probably our worst state that we've ever been in, bro.
We're in our worst state, and we've spent $2 billion on the club already.
Yes, it makes it look worse, bro. That's the whole point.
We haven't necessarily flipped the profit.
We were never like this under Roman. Like, even Roman, the one time we finished 10th, we won the league the next season, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point. Like, we've never been as bad as we've ever been now.
We're about to endure 3 fiscal years of no Champions League revenue.
Exactly, Peter. Yes.
Before Roman bought the club.
Like, there is no legit way these guys would sell in our current state.
Even if they could, I don't think they would, in terms of, like, they need to find a way to flip a profit.
Again, like, we need to also realize one of the guys that owns us is a private equity firm. They need genuine return on investment on their money.
It's 4 owners.
No, but the biggest one, the one that technically owns us, is Clear Lake Capital, guys, and they own like over 60, around about 60%, and these guys need return on investment. And in our current state, you ain't getting that. So they're never gonna sell at this in this current state. If they do, they sell it at a loss. Then that looks bad on them. then they've got people they have to answer to be like, what went wrong?
But that's the thing, though, right? Like what you're saying is, I don't disagree. It would be nice if we had one owner and not four. But in order for Bully to be the one owner, that means Feliciano, Hansborg Weiss, and Egbali
which is technically a
need
part
to
of
sell.
Bowley's thing. Which is basically.
But he has a share, right? He has his own share.
His share is only 5%, bro. It's not even that.
Regardless, he has to sell it. In order for Bully to have 100% ownership of the club, he needs to sell his 5% share to Bully. So that means you need 3 people to actually have their shares bought out by Bully. They need to agree to sell their shares, and they're probably going to ask for the same price at minimum. In the best case scenario, they're probably going to ask for the same price that they invested into the project to be returned back to them. And think about this. Bully didn't have the money to buy Chelsea himself. What makes you think he had the money? He has the money to actually get. Well, he might. I don't know. He just bought a cricket club and stuff. Like he might have the money. But that means he has to actually dish out of his own pocket to repay these guys their own share, which he didn't have for Chelsea to begin with.
Yeah, Bowley just seems like he's just a venture. He's basically a venture capitalist. Like he's just gonna invest in something. He invests in a bunch of stuff, and then eventually one of them is gonna hit like bang, right? Like it's like a Silicon Valley thing, if that makes sense. He's the one who runs the sporting directors. Bowley needs to find out to buy out. But the problem is, remember, if you remember those reports at the time, Marshall can correct me if I'm wrong. Iqbal does not want to sell. Iqbal sells in this current state, he is making a loss. HA. That is the problem, bro. That is the problem we're not understanding.
Even though I agree with you on this, like technically you're right. If Bully were to buy Iqbali share, then he has a majority ownership, and he would be able to take the reins at least. You're not wrong in that. You're absolutely right. The problem is that Iqbali represents Iqbali and Feliciano, I think, but Iqbali is part of the representation of Clear Lake Capital, an investment firm. Investors in it that want a return on their investment. So Iqbali then is responsible for those returns on investment.
Bully, so I'm looking at an article right now. Clear Lake is 61.5% stake. Exactly. The other 3 being Mark Walter, Hans-Jörg Weiss, and Todd.
There's another one too.
They've split up that remaining 39.5%, if my math is correct.
Yeah. I think Bowley owns like 50 to 20%, if I'm not mistaken.
Todd Bowley, if it's equal, Todd Bowley owns like 13% of Chelsea. So he would need to find an amount of money probably equal to 5 times what his share is currently worth in order to buy out Clear Lake Capital.
Exactly.
It's just not realistic, guys. I'll be so honest with you. It's so
unless he's got like a Saudi prince, it's not happening, bro.
And even then, like he. This is the way I see it. Bowley wanted Chelsea. This was all his idea. And I think, and I said this when we were talking about the Civil War thing, I think Bowley wanted to buy Chelsea, but he needed money because he couldn't do it by himself. Otherwise, he would have. He couldn't do it by himself, so he resorted to Clear Lake and Hansborg Weiss and the other third person that Pete mentioned. I forgot the name. But so as a result, he resorted to them, and then once things came about, because Clear Lake was the majority owner, he saw how Bowley was running things, and he was like, "Nah, dude, you're gonna collapse my investment." So Iqbali stepped in and was like, "Bro, I have the majority share. You need to step away. I'm taking care of this because you're doing it wrong." And that's how you get the scenario we're in right now, where Bowley is just basically fucking Iqbali's bitch. Let's be honest. Bowley right now is like fucking Levi Cole on the pitch. Let's be real.
I said this, Marshall, you are correct, bro. Like again, we knew Bowley didn't have the money. That's why he was doing a consortium. He was leading the consortium. We already know all of this stuff. But I think Demon basically is right. Like Demon's comment, the first one, is basically the reality. That's what I'm saying. Like again, it's very unrealistic right now, guys. It's just not gonna happen.
It goes back to what I was saying before. Like, in order for Iqbali to sell his shares, he is responsible for the investment of a lot of people under his firm. He has to perform on that, right? He has to return on that investment. So listen, and this is where it gets to points where I just don't understand, and I'm not going to pretend to. He needs to somehow find a way to get profit out of this so that he can return back to his investors with a profit. He can't come back to his investors breaking even or not making a single profit. That's just not how these things work. At least at this level. At least I don't imagine it is. I'm not going to pretend like I know. Like, if I did know, I'd probably be a billionaire and I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. But it's just like, it's a pipe dream. It's nice to, you know, have happy thoughts and reminisce the past. But let's also be honest. If, and maybe you guys disagree with me on the panel, if we were to even get back to Roman, right? Let's say everything works out, that Roman is actually allowed to buy his club back. He pays overs for it just to make up for the fact that these investors want some return on investment. So let's say he puts down $5 billion and these investors are happy with that, and he buys back his club. PSR, financial fair play, all these things is totally different than it was now, than it was back when Roman owned the club. Are we like positive that we're going to be able to run the institution the same exact way we were used to be able to run it before all these rules were applied?
Sorry, I was listening to some of this. Some of the stuff that people are saying is very incorrect. First of all, the thing is, Bully always wanted us. He tried to get us in 2018. He had a consortium then that he trusted. It's just that there was a fire sale for us. So basically, he tried to find money as quickly as he could, and he just found another investing firm in Iqbali. That's why before then, because I know Ahmed also listens to, who's that other guy we listened to on playback?
He's the guy who listened to a playback, did he say?
Yeah.
Alex Goldberg?
Yes, thank you. So he was saying that they didn't know each other before buying Chelsea. Like, there was no history of them being like business partners or any of that sort before buying Chelsea. So it's more so that. And the rumors were that Bully, if they're gonna buy him out, he is planning to pay the $5 billion. He is willing to pay over the odds of buying it out, but it's based on what the rest of the investment of that firm thinks, because they're thinking that Chelsea might not be just a $5 billion club, but might be a $7 billion club in the next 7 years. That's the
point. That's what we were just saying, literally, CB, right now. Because we were saying the problem is right now, and I think someone in the comments also said it a lot earlier. I can't remember who said it, but like right now, Chelsea, if they actually get back on track and they do the stadiums, whatever they want to, we would probably double in value, essentially, right? In their eyes, right? And that's what they want. They want ROI, again, return on investment. And the reality is, they need that to happen, bro. They need. Listen, I just double checked right now. These guys own over 85 billion in assets, boys. I mean, listen, these guys, they want their money, bro. It's very hard for that to happen.
I definitely believe that Bully and Iqbali didn't know each other, though. Like, Clearly Capital are just some giant fucking private equity firm based out of Santa Monica. Bully is a minority owner in the Lakers and the Dodgers. So, like, there's probably not that many billionaires chilling around LA. So I would imagine.
I would say that's where the majority.
And Peter, the other guy who has majority stake in the Dodgers, I'm forgetting his name. He also is a minority owner in Chelsea as well. So I think Bully has like 12 or 13% because he put in, I think, like 700 million of his own money, and then he also got the Dodgers guy in there too.
Oh, it's Mark Walters in the Dodgers group. So yeah, Mark Walters is overlapping.
So they're the two minority owners. So some of the Dodgers hierarchy, I mean, some of that is in there, but still the majority is Clear Lake. And and the thing is that Roman Abramovich can't buy the club back because he put it as a stipulation that they can't sell the club to outsiders, right? One of them can buy each other out, but they can't sell the club for the next 10 years. So he's also stopped himself from buying the club, even if that was possible. So for everyone,
that's actually a good point too. Yeah.
And I said this to Ahmed: these people, I don't know if I think Ahmed might have been late or was there. I'm saying, oh no, you were there. I'm saying that our fan base are cowards. I'm saying the fan base are cowards because they know they can keep on blaming the owners and saying owners out when they should be making banners for the directors because they're cowards
That's what I've been
because they
saying.
know that the owners can't go anywhere, but we're gonna no, it's straight up. They're blaming something that is never gonna change, right? They're blaming
Exactly.
something that
They know they're never gonna get any change out of.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
Like
Actually.
asking for making banners for their directors out, or like we've applied enough pressure for them to fire Potter earlier than he was supposed to. Remember the reports that he's going to be. But what caused them to fire Potter is because us as a fan base were rioting, we're against it. We demonstrated that fuck Potter, and then they fired him because they were panicking. So why can't this fan base pressure them to fire the directors? And if in change of fires Maresca, so be it. But fire the higher ups that you can fire instead of being little wusses and asking for some. It's like asking for, it's like asking right now to change the president while the president just got elected. You can't change the president until 4 years time when there's another election. But you're gonna say I want fire the president. Let's get another election when the election just happened because the rest of these guys are little wusses. So the people in England who keep on telling us international fans that we don't have the passion, that we're fake fans, how about you get your asses up there who are in London because it's literally walking distances for you little bitches while we have to drive.
CP.
No, hold up. Because people, I know because I used to live in California and Peter used to too. When we can drive 6 hours. Sorry?
I still live here. I'll never leave.
No, sorry.
Hey, Jay, what do you mean, bro?
Wait.
But I'm in the middle. This is the only house that survived the fires. Right, he's right in the middle.
California can drive 6 hours from San Francisco to LA.
Yeah.
And these people can't fucking take a train 1 hour down. And there's a tiny ass country that's smaller than the size of fucking California. But you people bitch and complain about driving fucking 20 miles. Because you guys are little wusses, then tell us that we're little wusses that we can't fucking protest. Yeah, because I'm literally 3,000 kilometers away from you little bitches. How about you fucking walk your fat asses and fucking go to the club, make banners, not about fucking Trevor Chalobah or fucking Gallagher or fucking Palmer.
Isn't that in your country?
Or insane player here, but about how about the fucking directors? Stop saying Roman Abramovich, but saying fuck you, Stuart and the directors. How about we do that, guys? How about we take action in that way?
Yeah,
you're gonna overthrow Keir Starmer as your prime minister when you're literally the government.
Again, listen, CV.
Vote out your MPs. Vote out your MPs. That's what you guys do to form the government. So vote out your fucking directors.
CV, listen, yeah. I think the whole topic of before you just came in, you were literally saying this. I think the problem is, I don't know why I have to say Hamid, by the way. He said something in Somali, which is funny, but I just think for me, we agree with this. You know, I don't know where this delusion of grandeur has come over about we can get these guys out, the ownership out. I don't know. Is there some news I'm missing?
It's been reported for 3 years straight that we can't get them out.
I know, CP. That's the point. CP. This is
CP. This is what I was saying before, though, right? Like
it's
people
like Hopium.
It's Hopium. People are biased towards truth that is conveniently geared towards what they want the truth to be. Right?
You need to read.
It's not even truth, to be honest.
I want to point out. Johnny Minerals is the same guy that ran a Holland ITK gimmick in the summer of 2021.
Yes.
Based off
recency bias. But you know what? That's fun. That's why CP.
Peter, do you know what it was based off of?
He knew somebody in the ground or some shit.
Oh, I remember that.
No, it was based off the fact that Haaland, who is Norwegian, was in Norway.
No, I thought it was because he saw a shirt, a Holland shirt at the ground that they were like someone saw a Holland shirt before he was even at the club.
It's because he asked for Haaland on the back of his shirt when he got his shirt. They told him no.
And yeah, they told him no, yes, and he thought, okay, that's because we're getting Haaland.
But real quick, before you go, Ahmed, this is short. The reason I laugh when CP mentioned the whole banner thing is because it's even worse than the Trev banner. It's even worse than the Levi Colwell banner, whatever, the Gallagher banner. instead of putting money towards a banner for something that we can control, like maybe the sporting directors, right? Something that we've seen, you're right. We've seen under pressure, these owners have crumbled and decided to sack Graham Potter, right? But instead of making a banner for the sporting directors, this is what we do. We gather, we have started GoFundMe for this.
No way. No.
You didn't know this?
Yes. Wait.
No, wait. You're lying to me.
Yeah,
This is legit.
Send me this link. Put the link on the private chat. This can't be
Bro, they've
real.
raised like £400. Oh no, sorry, it says in there. they've raised
£303. Send me the
No,
link.
it's at the time.
This is not real.
The
You
goal
can't
was
be
raised to
trolling.
400.
This is trolling. No.
I'll
fuck.
find it in a minute.
But like the point, I think
Is this what the banner graphic is actually going to be?
Yes.
Why does Johnny need to be on the protest banner?
Because he's minerals, eh? No surrender.
No, but
it
like,
says.
wouldn't it be such a better graphic if he just wasn't on it? Like, no joke. Like, no surrender, kind of corny. Roman Empire in the corner, that's pretty sick. Maybe just
I agree with
picture
that.
of Roman Abramovich would be hilarious instead of Johnny.
it's just for me, like, I don't know what I feel, you know, this again, the Roman Empire, all this stuff. We need to realize it's not going back, bro. The Premier League's not even going to allow it. Why are we acting like we can force the EPL to get our we got back? It's not going to happen.
You think the Chelsea, I mean the EPL ownership in terms of other clubs are going to allow him to come back?
Yeah, bro, he did damage to the Premier League like brand. I don't understand why people do not understand that, right?
On top of the fact that they're in a binding agreement to own the club internally in some in some split until 2032, the other Premier League clubs are never going to sanction the sale of Chelsea back to Roman Abramovich.
Exactly.
For the same reason they didn't let the brown people buy us. It's just not going to happen, guys.
It's just never going to happen.
And also
never buying us. That was never going to happen.
And also, if these guys are our rivals, then wouldn't they want the incompetency to continue? So why would they get
Look at what they've done to Newcastle.
The UK was going to let a multi-billion-pound asset get handed over to a bunch of brown people from Saudi. That's never happened. If you think
also
are giving that asset,
oh my god, these scumbags actually raised the goal to 600.
Also,
put the link in the private chat, please.
Look at everything that's been said about Abramovich and his time at the club by these owners. If they did try and sell it back to Roman, they'd probably try and sell it to like 10 bill. Like they'd probably try and get like a huge fee just to be smart.
Roman can't pass the fit person's test or whatever it's called.
He would never pass it either. Like it's just impossible to make that happen.
That he couldn't pay, and we shouldn't have to pay. He wouldn't be allowed it anyway. It's pointless.
Yeah.
That's people want to believe. There's a truth bias. They want to believe what they want.
He does have an English cousin called Ruben Abrams Ovichukov.
Don't get these guys excited, Surfer. You're gonna give him Hopium as well.
Guys,
he does have glasses and a mustache.
If we could crowdfund $5 billion, let's just say we had $5 billion crowdfunded to run Chelsea, like as the fans, just hypothetically, right? What kind of leadership structure are we implementing?
How do structure, man? We're all gonna own the club together.
They would have to. First of all,
Peter, we can't be fans anymore. You know that's what's going to be.
Did all these people? First of all, did all these people have love for Cobham? First of all, that would be criteria number one. Point number.
We'd have to have like elections and shit. It would be so trash.
Are you British? That would be.
I pledged that the full 11 will be from Cobham, so that's 50% of the vote that's already gone to someone.
Look, man, I'm pledging cheaper season tickets and I'm winning that shit. And then I'm turning around and I'm hiking that shit up, boys.
He's doing the Bowley thing. He's doing the Bowley thing. He's setting up a website with the tickets the Bowley's selling. That's what he's doing right there.
Look, guys.
Vivid Nation.
I don't even mind Bowley running a ticket scalping.
I'm in head scout. Let's go, man.
Yeah, like I don't know, like crowdfunding a club and taking it back sounds cool, but like $5 billion is a lot of money. Some of you probably don't go into like too much in the savings, and I don't blame you. You know, times are tough, but like
Bro, even if we gathered together, well, if as a whole Chelsea fan base, maybe, but like, let's even entertain the hypothetical. If as a Chelsea fan base, we crowdfunded money, I don't even know if we can even get $1 billion, bro. Like,
wait.
that's a lot of money.
Wait, Marshall.
The subsidize of a Trevor Chalobah banner first.
Yeah,
To take precedent.
but here's the thing. Even for example, in Spain, right? There's clubs that are still quote unquote people owned, right? In Madrid and Barcelona. Do you guys want to know what the criteria is to be president? For Barcelona, you have to be a multimillionaire, and Laporte, who's a famous multimillionaire lawyer. And since Perez was there, you have to be a fucking billionaire to be the president of Madrid. To be the president of Madrid, you have to have assets worth more than 500 million euros.
And plus, you have to be in favor of the royal family as well.
Yes, and those criteria were made after Perez was elected president. So that's the criteria now ever since.
5 billion
Perez.
divided by 1,000. That's 5 million.
Yeah, I think. Let's do that.
No way, is it?
Can we find 5 million people willing to donate 1,000 to take over Chelsea?
I don't think so.
Sorry, you're saying 5 billion divided by how much, Peter? Sorry,
1,000.
1,000, sure. Yeah, that's about 5 million.
You put in. Do you think we could find 5 million people with 1,000 spare cash to take over Chelsea? Just hypothetically, do you think that's even possible? Because I don't.
I don't think
that's possible.
No, but you can reduce that to 500 maybe.
The problem is, it would take 3 months to vote
And
someone.
then whoever has control over the account that grows the money until we purchase, they're going to spend it. I'm not trusting that. There's so many problems. Imagine Winter Surfer being in charge of the Chelsea takeover account, sitting at 3.5 billion quid.
Ahmed with that money?
Charlotte Hornets or some bull.
That's going to Ultimate Team. That's going to Ultimate Team. I'm not trusting that.
No, that's going to Turkey, bro.
That's the case.
Dream team.
I want you to put it. I want you to pitch this right now. Pitch this right now, Marshall. This is because that's the only picture you'll be seeing of me after if I get the accounts. Okay, because I won't be.
You will disappear in fucking Bali.
I'll go to a country where there's no extradition. First off, right? So there's no
Cayman Islands.
Yeah. Or I buy a super yacht and I just live in international waters. You can't touch me.
You know how I know? You know how I know when Ahmed's rich? When I see an R9 on his team for Ultimate Team.
The reason I raise this point is really just because when people are going to talk about sell the club, force them to do this. If we're going to talk about unrealistic shit, let's just lean all the way into being unrealistic. Fuck it. You got to pay. Let's raise, even if we raised it to 5,000, so we didn't need 5 million, we only needed 1 million. I think 1 million people have 5,000 cash to give to purchase Chelsea. How do those 1 million people make decisions? Holy shit. That's what I mean.
You would literally need to rebuild it, like in some times of like the way the Germans do it. Maybe
we would need elected
intangible.
We would need elected officials and shit.
Yeah, we would have to literally reset the club like how they do in either Barca, all these other clubs that have like basically like
fan. No, but like he was saying, to be in charge of Barca or Madrid, you have to be basically a mob boss.
Yep.
I'm just giving examples of like stuff that ways that happens. Either him, even like the buy-in model, for example, right? Look at the buy-in model, for example, guys, right? Or
look at Milan. Look at Milan under Berlusconi. He was running Italy and owned Milan at the same time, and he was
amazing.
In both camps. Do you know what I mean? You can't slander the dead.
And he was giving he was literally giving them taxpayer money. To get about.
I know. What a boss! What a G, man! What a G!
Yeah, this is pretty much kind of what we're getting at. Like, I get it. Having one owner is dope, cool idea. But you know what would really suck? It's like if you just had one idiot in charge instead of 4 people who couldn't make decisions, because then we'd be in the same problem and it would be even worse.
The consortium is always the worst because. One's either a majority and one's a minority, and the majority always rules. That's the problem.
There's pros and cons to both of them, to be honest. If we're really looking at it,
I'll be real,
guys, man.
We are yet to see a single pro for us having a consortium ownership group.
Well, I mean, Pete just said it, right? Like, if you have an idiot that doesn't know what they're doing, you would hope the other 3 in the consortium, or the other 2, or however big the consortium is, can at least rule it out or vote it out.
We're not saying.
But we're not like that, bro.
Our problem,
not everyone has equal shares.
Our problem is Clear Lake Capital or the majority owners.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's not like 50-50 either. Where
they have
60-40.
Other little niggas split up 40. Like fuck that.
It's not 65-35 even, isn't it? Something like that.
And if you do want ownership out, then put banners supporting Bowley. Then just do that. Don't say ownership out. Just say a Bowley in or some shit. At least try to.
The thing is,
everyone he just gets lumped in with all of them because I think people can't.
That's the thing. I know.
He gets lumped in because of the first summer. That's why he gets lumped in.
Until I looked it up 20 minutes ago, I didn't know exactly how the splits were. Like, I didn't know how everything was divvied up. I didn't really know much about Clear Lake Capital because I never looked into it. Basically, it's a fund started by Feliciano and fucking Iqbali back in 2006. They're based out in Santa Monica. Pretty sure I know exactly where that office is. Really nice place. A lot of rich motherfuckers chilling out there. But if they have 60% of the club, I don't know what the fuck we do, man. Because good luck trying to talk them into selling their share that's probably worth like $3 million or $3 billion.
Yeah, Bill.
They're never like people need to realize they're not gonna sell to break even. They're not gonna sell to. They're not gonna sell at a loss. These boys want a big profit. Bro.
I don't even think they're gonna sell at a big profit right now because the ego.
Exactly. Like for me, I feel like the way that people talk about Iqbali, it's like he wants to make sure that his way is the right way, bro. Like that's the way people talk about Iqbali, by the like of how like he's even like in the weeds. And send Ahmed location, he will sort them out. Okay, listen, chill out, dude. I don't have the facilities for that. I don't have the facilities.
Ahmed, and he's getting within arm's reach of Iqbali or Feliciano.
I don't think there's security in between both of them.
I don't think you know, brother.
That's why it's always like bothered me, and when people are going, "Still the club. If we do a protest, they'll leave," and it's like, I'm Iqbali, right? I probably get bribed, extortion, threatened, my family threatened on a weekly basis by non-footballing fans. I probably deal with, they'll never admit this, allegedly people who deal with war crimes, probably. That's how some of that money comes in, you'll know that.
100%.
But I'm supposed to be bothered by 200 skinheads in West London who stink of VO.
Look, not
the proper Chelsea though. The proper Chelsea
profile, but Iranian American billionaire. I know what you're, buddy. I know what.
No, but that's what I mean. I go to Saudi Arabia regularly, where I probably hear people getting their head chopped off for doing something. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like couple angry Chelsea fans after a 1-1 draw is not going to do shit.
I'm supposed to sell my club because 12 people are going carefree wherever it may be 15,000 times in a row, or this is not Chelsea. Fuck off. You know what I mean?
But Surfer, have you thought about him hearing the word Chelsea, but in different tones and in different octaves? Chelsea, maybe he's feeling.
But the reality, no, I get what everyone is saying. You just again proves my point that whatever we guys are trying to do, whatever we want to do, bro, it ain't happening, big man.
Look, I'm down. I am down to crowdfund the purchase of Chelsea. I just don't think we realistically can do it.
I don't want this fan base.
I don't crowdfund the banner to get the directors out at least.
I think I'll do it. One of the only worst things to be one of the worst people to own this club is this fan base. I don't want it.
But like HA, listen. We need to start living in the real universe. HA, let's live in the real world, HA. No. I'm not going to do this here because we need to start fucking living in the new world. No, we're not living in the fucking real world, Marshall, man. Like, come on, bro. We're not living in the real universe, bro. That's never gonna happen. Why are we acting like we're gonna get every single fucking person? Stop this, please. Be real. Be fucking real, man. I'm sorry.
Yo, sorry. He's right, bro. We can't. We can crowdfund it. We just need to have a better attitude.
I just thought about it. The problem is, even if we did find 5 million people to put 1,000 of their own down and find a way to like govern Chelsea, when somebody who's smarter than the collective comes along and tries to buy it, how the fuck do we agree on a price to sell?
And also, the problem is,
fuck.
the problem is, I think most of our fan base is retarded anyway, so I wouldn't trust them.
Oh my
That's a different issue. Like, imagine, right? Imagine my local representative goes to Southwest 6
Very slow.
to go to this summer, and we're talking transfer targets, right?
I apologize.
I say we want to buy a goalkeeper. These motherfuckers want to put in a Cobham goalkeeper as their second goalkeeper. I'm crashing out. I don't know how we would do it. How would we get anything done? Like,
Peter, question. Can we as a fan base, us being Rob Pelinka, do you think we can do a trade for ownership? You know what I'm saying? City's ownership is Luka Doncic, and ours is Anthony Davis. You think we can like do that? Maybe that's a possibility.
Look, if we want to just swap assets with people, I don't know why that would be a. I could actually, that wouldn't be allowed because no money changes hands.
You know this associated third party thing that came out today. Now, if I'm a billionaire and I support Chelsea and I don't like how this club is running, I would bribe these guys through sponsorship to say, I'm only going to sponsor you for this extraordinary, extortionate amount of money I'm going to be putting into the club for sponsorship if you do things this way. If I was a billionaire, that's what I would do, because they're not going to sell the club for a profit right now, because it's just not going to happen. That's what I would do. That's the only way it could happen.
One of
their other billionaire friends went, yeah, I don't like the way you're running. You need to change. Oh, we're not going to do it. Okay, well, I'm not going to sponsor you for 500 million.
But back to this comment, right? Like what Chris Pursuer was saying, the idea is uses just that's the point, though. Like, right? This whole conversation that they could sell at any time and all this and that, like that conversation is useless because it's false. It's based off of like propaganda and this hopium that like you're just feeding into this idea that all of this PR we're being fed, we're being lied to. They can sell. They're billionaires.
They can sell to each other, right? Within the consortium, they can sell to each other, right? Just not.
Yeah, they just can't sell externally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Which is what people are going. Oh, stop talking about the. You probably saw on Twitter this week. If you did follow me, stop talking. I know Ahmed did. Stop talking about the Glazers thing. No, the Glazers thing was about the dividends, where we were told and it's reported that they can't take dividends out for 10 years, which is what we were told Abramovich wanted in the contract to begin with. Whether he did or not, that has yet to be proven. But apparently he wanted it. They can't sell for 10 years.
And a ring group.
And they can't take dividends out. That's the Glazers rule. So they can sell to each other, but the problem is, if everyone wants Bodie can't buy this club by himself. He can't. That's why he needed the consortium in the first place.
Exactly.
Because he can't buy it by himself, which is why he owns, which he helps the Dodgers, but he doesn't own the Dodgers. He owns a part of the Dodgers. You know what I mean? So it's different. So he can't own it outright unless he buys it. So if he was to buy it, he'd probably had to be backed by others to buy it, and that's another consortium there. So it would just be owned by another consortium.